The world's largest art piece, not by size but by the number of contributors, is the AIDS Memorial Quilt, consisting of 50,000 unique art pieces commemorating the names of the AIDS victims over the years. Yet, it is not the largest piece of art with the most number of collaborators. In 2007, the record was given to an online art project called the 1 Million Masterpiece. It had almost 27,000 contributors joining for charity. The concept was simple. Everybody was given a square piece of canvas, some toothbrush, and the rest was history. And yet, this has nothing like what I'm about to show you. The year was 2017 and April Fool's was coming up. Josh Wardle, the same genius that created Wordle, thought of a social experiment. What if, instead of giving each and every individual their own canvas and their own toothbrush, everybody was restricted to one giant canvas? And instead of toothbrush to draw, they can only change the color of one pixel every few minutes or so. The idea was to build chaos and to see what abomination would be created, but instead, communities got together and created this. The idea is arguably one of the most amazing things to ever happen on the internet. 90,000 contributors were still going on towards the end of the event. 16 million pixels were placed on a 1,000 by 1,000 canvas. There were country flags, gaming communities, Linux, anime, the blue corner, the void creature, and other lore-related stuff. Our place was the beacon of hope amidst the chaotic internet, showing that it can still be fun and still connect people together for a greater cause. And that was it. It was supposed to be a one-off event, a shiny piece of internet history before the COVID era. Until... So what changed in 2022? Why bring it back? Well, the world was healing and they needed hope. They needed to feel hopeful again. That could be a reason, or it could also be Reddit's decision to go IPO in the near future. So they needed to prove to investors that they have traffic on Reddit. It could be the reason, but we digress. This time around, communities were armed and ready. They had the experience, they know the art of war and negotiation, they can rally their community or troops. There were also more talented artists on board to help guide the community to create amazing art. Most of it. Our place in 2022 had one thing different from the last rendition, which is publicity. Streamers would divert their audience to our place to create their mascot, their signature to forever be memorized, or they could also wreak havoc.
They're small, they're weakened. They're very small communities, they're gonna get overwhelmed very easily. It's easy! Push the purple! Push! Push! Guys, this is what you want? You have it. Chat, curve the root horizontally into Hololive.
I could go on and on about the different stories and the lore that went on this Our Place in 2022 because I was there and so were others that could proudly say that they were a part of Our Place. But of course, some things are better off as treasured memory, and towards the end of it, Reddit restricted the pixels colors to be white only, which created this bittersweet ending to the world's largest art piece ever. The canvas was gradually quadrupled by the end of the project. Around 160 million pixels were placed. There were 10.5 million users participating throughout the whole event, which makes this officially the art piece with the most number of collaborators ever. And so Our Place once again provided the world with hope. It showed that people's passion were valid and the community were valid and it can still connect with one another. Why bring it back now in 2023? I can assure you it's not for good reasons. If you haven't heard already, Reddit is announcing its API pricing change, and it makes it impossible for third-party apps to function. And surprisingly, millions and millions of people were using these third-party apps to browse and use Reddit. Apollo, one of the most outspoken third-party apps out there, announced that with this new API pricing change, it would cost them $20 million a year, which is not very sustainable. It's not really ridiculous. It's just really ridiculous. So communities and subreddits went offline to protest this change, but the CEO didn't really bat an eye, and people were upset, and the protest went longer than the original 2 days blackout. It didn't really help as Steve Huffman just ignored the threats and whatever the user base had to say, and went as far as to threaten subreddit that they would replace the moderators with those that would obey Reddit, which is a little bit dictatorship, maybe. Anyway, amidst the rage and the chaos, Reddit thought it'd be nice to bring back art plays to distract everybody, which is something that most speculate to only come back in 2027 and not this year, 2023. For the most part, communities on ARMYs and subreddits were ready and they were placing pixels as usual. But similar to last year's theme of supporting Ukraine and Putin, we have this in this year's art play. It's not surprising to see communities get mad and write a lot of spares on the canvas. The thing is, art plays was supposed to represent the collective hive mind of the internet, so whatever goes, goes. This year, however, a lot of moderation happened from the admin, a lot of censorship happened, and it wasn't a pleasant experience. However, not all of it was bad, because if you look beyond the ridiculous amount of flags, the spamming, the griefers, the blatant use of botting, and questionable power abuse by the admin, there were still amazing pixel art projects by different communities joining hands together. And probably the most impressive art project of all, Bad Apple. You see, if coordinating thousands to work on and maintain a pixel art piece is hard enough, these people decided, hey, let's just animate a whole music video on our place. The goal is not to create an end image, but rather the animation that result from the art place time lapse. The amount of coordination that went into this is insane, and considering the amount of praise that this project gets on the subreddit, it was definitely worth it. By the time the video comes out, art place would probably be gone, and people would move on with their lives, which concludes the world's largest collaboration project ever. And let's hope that it doesn't come back next year.